Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Yin II. We're going to get started on our backs with a chest opener, a rolled up blanket or a towel. Make sure your hips are on the mat. And you can lie down with the blanket along the spinal column. Now, if your torso's longer than the blanket, you can use a block to support your head. Open up the feet, maybe a little wider than hips width. Arms are relaxed out to the sides. And you feel just a little bit of tension on the shoulders as they fall away towards the floor. And a little bit of tension in the lower abdominal region. And you engage your Ujjayi pranayama breath. So nice, deep inhalations in through the nose, expand the chest, and as you exhale, a little more difficult in this posture, you need to really engage your diaphragm to exhale a little deeper. Try to relieve and relax all tension in your limbs. Your fingers may curl up slightly here. Toes are falling open to either side. Try not to have any tension at all other than what's in the lower abdominal region and maybe your shoulders. Then you feel this stretchy sensation as you inhale a little deeper. And the little bit of extra energy needed to pull the diaphragm up and in with your exhales. A great posture to help improve your own posture. A great posture to open the chest, assist with the breath, and a good one to help clear the mind. Let's go for 3 more deep inhalations, please. Last breath in. And with your next inhale, bend your legs slightly, feet are flat. We're going to roll to the right, remove the block or the blanket, and let's lie flat on the mat to readjust. Reconnect that spinal column. You can tuck the chin slightly towards the chest, trying to flatten out the spinal column on the mat. But a full body stretch. Bring the arms up and overhead. Point the toes. Reach the fingers. Pull the stomach in. Nice deep breaths. And recover. Groovy. All right, let's go ahead and bring the legs up for Apanasana. Arms on top or behind the knees. Squeeze in slowly and surely. You can even rock a little bit left and right. Nice and easy here along the spinal column. And release the legs onto the mat. Now extend the legs out. And if you can, take your hands and clasp your fingers behind your head. All right. Call this a supine half moon pose. So lying on your back, and if this is too much for your shoulders, you can keep your arms to your sides or extend them up. I'll leave that up to you. But I want you to take your feet, your legs, and scoot them over to the right a little bit. My heels are coming off the mat. And then I'm taking and walking my shoulders in the same direction to the right. Not going too far here, but the effect should give you a really nice sensation of extending and lengthening the whole left side of the body from your left armpit all the way down the left leg, and some compression, of course, on the right portion of the torso. Try to keep your head relaxed on the mat. If your fingers are clasped, keep your head relaxed in your hands. Give you one more breath here. And then move the torso back nice and easy to the center. And then the legs. And let's keep the legs moving to the left side of the mat. So one or both heels may come off the mat. And then you can walk the torso or your shoulders over to the left. And if you don't have your hands clasped, it'll work even easier sometimes. This is not a dramatic pose per se, so it may not feel as you look like you're going that far over, but enough to feel the lengthening along the right side now. Try to keep everything else relaxed on the mat, your head, your left shoulder, left leg. You'll feel tension in the right leg, on the right side. Nice. 2 more breaths right here. And recover. So I'm walking my shoulders back, and then walk the feet back, and then Apanasana. Bend the legs, bring your knees into your chest one more time. Arms on top or behind the knees. It doesn't matter if you can't reach on top of the knees, and reach your hands behind the knees and squeeze in. And yet, you can rock a little bit left and right. That's fine. If that's uncomfortable or you're on a very hard surface, just squeeze the knees in. Hang out right here. All right, one breath in. And with your exhale, release your legs to the mat and easily extend them out. Okay, Supta Padangusthasana. So let's work into the legs. If you have a strap, great time to have a strap or your towel. Let's start with the right side. Bringing the right leg up with the strap. Keep your left leg relaxed on the mat. Keep the whole of your torso relaxed on the mat. And you can take each end of the strap in each hand and pull that foot up and overhead. So yeah, you're working really deep into the hamstring and calf. But this is early on in the pose, so nice and easy. Use your breath. Give it a couple of breaths, and then use the biceps and squeeze a little tighter. We'll call this your homework posture. Ideally, we're going to work until we actually start with the foot directly over our face. That's what we're going to gun for. May not be today, but that's what we're going to start with, or try to go towards. Your left leg is relaxed on the mat, or you may bend it a little bit and put that left foot flat. See how that works for you. It may be a little more comfortable on your back with the bent left leg. All right, a few more breaths. So use the biceps, pull that foot up higher, go a little deeper. Make sure that right leg is nice and long. Don't bend it. If you have to bend the leg, lower it a bit, and then work again to get it up a little higher with a straight leg. All right, looks good, folks. Here we go. One more breath. And with the next exhale, straps to the right hand, open up the leg to the right. You may have to give up some of the angle. That's fine. You should be comfortable with this one. So if it's too much, give up some of the angle. Just bring the legs slightly closer together. And how high is that right leg? Leave it up to you. Some of you are going to have the leg up quite high because you just have the biology for it or the physiology for it. Others may be lower to the mat. No matter what, try to keep that left hip on the mat. I do not want you to stack the hips with this one. All right, keep the tension here. So your right bicep is doing all the work, increasing the angle, little bit anyway. One more breath. And with your exhale, bring the leg up and let's cross it over. So I'm moving the strap into the left hand. And this time, yep, stack the hips. That's fine. As you can roll the torso a little bit to the left. This is a great counter stretch. And pretty good for the IT bend. So those of you that have huge issues with your IT bend, write them off with this posture. All right, one breath here. And on the next inhale, lift the leg up. Let's switch legs, please. I'm just going to do a little mid-air switch here. Straps are in that left, or straps are in either hand now. And I forgot to mention it earlier, but some of you may not even need a strap for this one. You can use the peace fingers of your, this case, your left hand, and reach your big toes. And if you can do this while keeping the head relaxed on the mat, great. If you have to lift your head off the mat to grab your toes, don't sweat it. Use a strap or a towel. You'll be absolutely fine in the long run. All right, you know the score. Give it a few breaths. Increase that angle just a little bit. The right foot, right leg is relaxed on the mat. Use your breath. With your exhale, maybe you squeeze a little more, bringing that foot higher on the plane. Keep the right leg relaxed, or it may be bent with the foot flat. All right, looks great, folks. One more breath in. And with your exhale, ease up a little bit on the left and drop the left leg, open it up to the left side of the mat. Yep, keep the right hip on the mat if you can, please. Actually, if you cannot keep the right hip on the mat, you have to give up some of the angle of that left leg. All right. So if you look over your left shoulder, is your foot equal or level with your left shoulder? Yeah, mine isn't, but there are plenty of people who can do that. Now, it's not a race. This is not something you have to push for, but it might be a goal for the future here. So the leg may be a little lower, but you continue to increase that flexibility, that range of motion, and it may well be equal to your left shoulder with time. All right, right leg's relaxed, your breath still in check. Your left bicep, left arm is working now. Holding that left leg in place. One more breath in. And with the exhale, bring the leg up, cross it over. And yeah, we're rolling the whole torso to the right just a bit here. And trying to keep the head relaxed. And this is not only great for that outer portion of the left leg, your IT band, we're also looking at a really good twist in your lower back. And yeah, I feel it. All right, one more breath here. And with the next inhale, bring the leg up. Remove the strap. Appanasana. Yet again, bring the knees into the chest, please. Ooh. This is great to help extend the lower back. Extend your spinal column all around. Because you're lifting the pelvis off the mat just a little bit when you squeeze your knees in. One breath in. And with your exhale, feet are flat on the mat. Legs are bent, feet are flat for bridge pose. So the heels are close to the hips, hands are down next to the feet. All right, for this first bridge pose, we're going to roll the pelvis off the mat, just a couple of inches. So the hips come off the mat, your core is in, and lift your toes. Subtle movements, But our core is in, supporting the low back, and every muscle all along the legs are engaged at this point. Looks good. So your toes are up, heels are driving into the mat, hips are just off the mat. Give me one more breath in. Exhale, roll down one vertebra at a time and release the toes. Lots of benefits to the bridge pose. Let's try this one again. With your next inhale, roll the pelvis off the mat. You can come up a little higher now, but you don't have to. Just getting the hips off the mat's enough. And then lift the toes off of the mat. A very small yet powerful movement here. Your hands can be pressing down onto the mat, but most of the pressure is in the shoulders and upper back as it presses into the mat. Head is neutral, breath is deep. One more breath in. And with your exhale, release your toes, roll down. Go ahead and windshield wipe the knees left and right a few times, please. Windshield wipe the knees left and right. And then roll the legs to the right side. Let's sit up. Woo. Konasana. Wide leg. A wide leg forward fold. So I'm going to sit right on the edge of my blanket. I like doing this because it helps roll the pelvis forward just a little bit. It gives me a little more room here to go forward. So with Konasana, or Upavista Konasana, as some of you recognize it, the legs are as wide as we can get them. Feel free to flex the feet. So the toes are coming in, heels are pushing out, leg muscles are activated, and you can move your hands and just walk forward. Doesn't matter how far down you come. You don't have to come forward. Some of you will be able to get your torso, the whole of your torso, on the floor, which is fantastic. If you're like me and not even there yet, don't worry about it. We're doing fine. Keep your head neutral here. And once again, use your breath. And when I say that, with your exhale, maybe fully a millimeter, you come down. Give it a couple of breaths where you're at, and then try it again with the exhale. Good. This is a posture that we'll call this your homework posture as well. A nice subtle one you can do. Something you can engage in for maybe 7-8 minutes, literally. Get a book. Play on your clubbing phone. But keep the legs active. I think you get the most out of this activating the feet. If your legs are relaxed, you're still working pretty decently on the inner hamstrings here. But activating the legs gets everything else involved. Your core should be involved as well, keeping your core solid, because once again, we always need to support the lower back. One more breath in. Exhale, and on the next inhale, roll up slowly. Hands behind the thighs, roll the shoulders up, back, and down as we lift the heart towards the ceiling, only slightly here, and recover. All right, with the legs where they're at, let's do a twist. We'll take the torso and go to the left initially. So the legs are still wide. Feel free to flex the feet again. Torso is tall, stomach is in. You look over the left shoulder. And then recover back to center. We go to the right. Another deep twisting action for the lower back. Awesome. And recover back to center. Groovy. One leg or bring them together at the same time. You can shake them out a bit. Let's meet on all fours. We're going to be on all fours. our quad pose. If you're on a hard surface, you're more than welcome to use your blanket for your knees. Leave that to you there. Once you come to all fours, shoulders over the hips, shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. Let's go for Balasana and 4 breaths. So big toes come together. Feel free to open up the knees if you need to a little more. Push your hips to your heels. Keep your head neutral. Arms can stay extended if you like, or fold them. I'll leave that up to you. 4 deep Ujjayi pranayama breaths. Compacting the legs, lengthening the spine. One more breath in. And on that exhale, and next inhale, lift up to all fours again. Cat-cows, just a few here. So with our cat-cows, when you inhale, you take the gaze up and drop the stomach. As you exhale, you hunch forward like that angry cat. Keep going on your own with this one. Using your breath with the movement. And don't forget about the pelvis. Work a little harder to roll that pelvis in on the exhale. Roll the tailbone up and out on the inhale. One more cycle, please. And we'll meet in neutral. Great. Just one area of grounded balance. Let's start with the left leg. Extend the left leg back. Your left toes are on the mat. Push that left heel towards the back of the mat or back of the room. So the left leg is nice and tight. Left leg is activated. Good. And from here, lift the left leg up just a little bit. It can come parallel to the floor. It doesn't have to come all that high up. Just hold it here. Keep the arms long. Keep the arms strong. Keep your head neutral. And now the right hand, right arm, bring it up. Just bring it up where you can today, please. That's it. Core is tight. That core is the key. It's supporting everything here. One more breath. And recover both. Groovy. Other side. Right leg is extended. Right toes are on the mat. And you push the right heel to the back of the mat. Now, while you're doing this, every muscle in that right leg is activated. Nice. One more breath in. And with your next inhale, lift the right leg up and extend the left arm. Just go where you can with this one. Nice, easy movements. Paying attention to how we're working this. Left arm's extended, right leg, one more breath in, and recover. Woo, nice. Balasana, child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. We're here for 4 breaths. Take your best posture of Balasana, please. And let that last posture go. Just let it go. With your exhales, you sink a little deeper. Heels may actually touch the hips one of these days. Last breath in. And with your next inhale, bring it up, please. Baddha twist. So we're going to have a nice sit down. The legs extended in front. And I'll show you that twisting action here. I like sitting on a block for this one. So we'll start twisting to the left. So I'm going to take the left leg, bend the left leg, Bend the right leg so the right foot is on top of the left knee. Now, this is the baseline posture for this one. You can take that right foot and bring it up under the waistline, reach your right hand behind you and grab the toes. If that's in your practice, awesome. Everyone else, keep it nice and simple. Twist to the right. Try to keep the torso up a little taller. It's so easy to want to lean forward with this one, but I'd rather you try to keep the torso a little taller as you look over the right shoulder. It's a new dynamic in twisting with this one, and you may feel it a little more with the left leg as well. One more breath, and recover, and we switch sides. I'll bring these legs out, and bend the right leg back first, and then the left foot rest on top of the right knee. And as I said earlier, I can bring my foot up a little bit here. And if you can do that and hold it with your right hand, that's fine. And we twist to the left. Any combination is fine in our practices. As long as it works for you, that's the important part. We're twisting to the left, looking over the left shoulder. Nice deep breaths. One more breath in and recover. Ooh, nice. All right, Gomukhasana, cow face pose. So I'm going to, for that one, I like having my strap out on this one, and I'm going to stay on my block. So for cow face pose, let's start with the left leg. We're going to bend the left leg as such, and we'll take the right leg and bend it on top. Now, in some variations of this, the top knee, in this case, the right knee will actually be lying slightly flatter. For those of you with great mobility in your hips, and this is how it's going to look. For those of you like me, will be more like this. Okay, so my right leg's on top, so I'm going to go opposite on the arms. Left hand is up. Take the left hand in between the shoulder blades, and the right hand comes behind you, and you try to reach your fingers. Now, that's not happening with me, so I'm going to use a strap. I'll put a strap in my left hand, and I'll reach behind. So ideally, with time, we'll get a little more shoulder flexibility, and we'll be able to grab our hands. If you can't reach your hands, use a strap or a towel. But we're trying to keep the torso tall, that left elbow going up towards the ceiling. And the old yogis called this cow face pose or Gomukhasana. And no, I really don't know why. One more breath in. And with your exhale, undo the arms, undo the legs. Let's go right into the other side. So I'm going to fold the right leg underneath first. Bring that left foot on top of the right knee. Keep the torso nice and tall. And now with the left leg on top, so to speak, right hand is up, drops behind me, and I bring my left hand up. I can almost reach my fingers at this point, but I'm still going to use a strap because my fingers aren't quite touching. And this is a tighter side for me, so my right shoulder, right arm, that elbow's not going up all the way to the ceiling as I'd like it to. And I also feel this in my right knee. So all of you, please make adjustments as you need to. The practice should not be painful. Keep the torso tall, stomach is in. Looks good. One more breath. And with your exhale, recover. We're coming onto our stomachs for Cobra. We've got 2 sets of an extended Cobra. So as we lie down on our stomachs, extend the arms out, 10 o'clock and 2. And we're going to keep the arms out just a little wider here. So I say 10 o'clock and 2, but you may open them up to say maybe 2:30 and 9:30 here. All right, here we go. Slide the hands in just a couple of inches. The elbows start to bend. And from here, press up. Try to extend the arms. You can try to relax your hips, keep your head neutral. So you're looking at the mat right in front of you here. Now, depending on how your back is, it may take you a couple of breaths to work your way up just a little higher, only by a few inches. Deep breaths. Nice and tall. If you can, release the tension in your hips. So if your hips are cinched, just relax there. One more breath. With your exhale, recover slowly. Ooh, chin comes back to the mat. Woo. We'll give it 3 breath cycles here. We'll do it one more time. All right. On that next inhale, press down, lift up. So a little tight early on when I press up. And then after a couple of breaths, I feel as if I can extend a little taller, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, only by a couple of millimeters. Keep the hips relaxed. Actually, there's no tension really from my waistline all the way to my toes. If you are holding tension, keeping your muscles tight for whatever reason, try to think about it and relax it. Easier said than done at the best of times. One more breath and relax. Back to the mat. Ah, chin comes to the mat. Give me one breath in. On your next inhale, press up to all fours and child's pose. So once again, big toes together, hips to heels. We're here for 3 breath cycles. And on the next inhale, let's lift up. We're going to come onto our backs. We're almost there, folks. Apanasana into happy baby. So as we lie down on our backs, arms on top or behind the knees, squeeze the knees in. You might feel the tailbone lift just a little off the mat. And we can rock a little bit. That's fine. You don't have to, though, but just keep the squeeze on as you compress your legs into your lower abdominal organs. And we transition to happy baby. So extend one leg, maybe get your peace fingers onto your big toes. And then we're trying to bring those knees onto the mat, just to the outside of your armpits. So what are you feeling? Hamstrings, I know. So this is your dead bug. If you're just hanging out and not moving, we like to call it happy babies when you're actually rocking a little bit left and right. Now, if you're having issues with this, try half. So you can extend one leg and relax it and just work it one leg at a time. Sometimes this has a tendency to work better for some of us. So one leg at a time or both, depending on how you're feeling today. Use the biceps, squeeze those knees down towards the mat. Give me one more breath here. And with your exhale, release the legs onto the mat. Legs are bent as we try to reset the spinal column. So with the legs bent, feet are flat, tuck your chin slightly towards the chest, and we try to flatten the spinal column on the mat. Give me 2 breath cycles here. Last breath in. And with that, roll the legs to the right side, and let's come up to a comfortable seated posture. Go for my block 1 here. Your eyes are soft or closed as you come up to a comfortable seated posture, Sukhasana as we call it. You can work the wrists, the shoulders, breathe into any harsh spots you have in the body, core, back, knees, or ankles. And from this point, disengage the Ujjayi Pranayama breath. Let's go for 3 cleansing breaths. In other words, we'll breathe in nice and deep through the nose. We'll exhale through the mouth. Inhale. 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 And keep the breath nice and steady at this point. Search the mind, clear the mind. Find yourself where you are right here and now. A wonderful session, everybody. With one last deep inhalation, bring the arms up and overhead, palms come together. Exhale the breath as the hands come down, past your third eye to your heart center. On your continuing journey, remember always to remain kind, remain gentle, and always remember to stay fearless. Thank you for a great session this evening. Thank you and namaste.